felt like I was in love since my wife, I guess, I tried in vain over and over to reconcile with that woman. And I'm always going to love her. I'm never going to be embittered toward her for anything. And I'm going to respect her and give her the dignity she deserves as the allowing me to sire these two beautiful daughters I have. Oh, awesome daughters. I couldn't ask for better daughters. They're just sensational. And I just thank God that He gave me the strength, the wherewithal to raise them properly. God, they're just excellent women. Excellent, both of them. I just couldn't be happier. Pleased as punch with both my daughters. Awesome kids. And they'll accept any woman that I fall in. They want their daddy happy because they've seen me suffer for a long time as a single man. It's not good. Just like God said from the beginning of time, it's not good for a man to be alone. It's not good. And so, in lieu of a lot of pontificating today, I did this Valentine's Day special. So I'm likely going to talk a little more about this thing called love and help people to understand where I'm coming from and how Scripture plays a role in that, and the poets and the thinkers of the past that can explain there's no such thing as self-satisfaction. That's a myth. And it's just... it's a way to waste your life and your time, is to believe. Maybe it's nice in theory. A guy thinks he can be happy as a bachelor, but God didn't make us that way. And it goes back to the creation, where we don't feel whole. We can't feel whole without somebody to love and somebody to love us, to devote themselves to us and for us to devote ourselves to them. And you don't fool around. Don't play with fire. I don't care if she tells you that you can hang out with her cute girlfriend and drink wine, and even if you get permission to have relations with her girlfriend, don't believe it. Don't believe it. She's just pretending to not be jealous, and she knows she's got the upper hand. Women always do. They always win. Always. Always. Always win. Guys can think they do. I'm thinking of Alex Jones right now. I'm thinking, this poor bastard. I just watched an interview with his wife, his former wife. I think, good God, this woman is beautiful, and she's intelligent, and what a dumbass Alex Jones is. I mean, I've got a vastly, I don't want to say vastly different opinion, because I did leave a nice windy comment where went into depth how I've been trying to change Alex Jones for well over 10 years. I've been working on him. I've been driving around with an InfoWars bumper sticker on my car for about the last decade. And I'm ready to peel that puppy off. I really am, because, if I tell you, right now I'm going to tell Alex, in the remote chance that you're listening, man, listen. Anymore with this flippant use of, the name of God, and you know what I'm talking about, man. I'm done, man. I'm can just take the sticker off. That's it, man. I'm sorry. It's just, I can't do it. I can't do it. It just, all I see to happen to people that do that, it's really dishonoring to your owner. Okay, you've got to, you let your spiritual, you say you're a Christian, you got to let that overrule and override and supersede your belief system, what you espouse. And I'm not hearing that, man. I'm just not. I'm hearing you supporting crony capitalism and stuff like that. And, I just can't. And some of your guests, and they're mocking this universal basic income as socialist. I think, oh my God, I'm a registered freaking Trump Republican. I'm a fiscal conservative. I'm an educated guy, dude. I've been to colleges, okay, and I've been taught, real estate economics. I know the score, man. I know the difference between true capitalism and crony capitalism. I know what has induced the socialist sympathy. And I'm not a socialist just because I say this is a way to skin the cat and thwart these evil people. Do you hear George Soros or any of these New World Order cabal? Do you hear them talking about a minimum guaranteed universal income so nobody has to be born into fear? If it's unnecessary, it's unnecessary. I mean, whose planet is this anyhow? Okay, you say you're a Christian, you're a believer. Ask yourself next time you get your out. Oh, you're so smart, man, about capitalism. What do you know? You talk. We need to revisit the '08 bailout. I don't hear Alex Jones talking about that. Okay, I don't hear. Let's hear your guest talk about that. What are the ramifications, the implications thereof? Okay, we haven't had true capitalism since they murdered JFK. The Federal Reserve Bank took over. We had a coup. Our politicians, our Congress, Senate, and the executive branch have sold out. They're lapdogs for the Federal Reserve. Can't you see that for decades and decades? And the Labor Department's in their pocket. How is it radical to say that that minimum wage should have been adjusted in a very realistic mathematic forum? Okay, using the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. How is that unreasonable in any way? Okay, it isn't. It isn't radical. It isn't communistic. It isn't socialistic. It's fair. If they're going to manipulate markets and you're going to say, well, we're going to tolerate crony capitalism, they're going to drive our cost of living tax up through inflation and debase our currency just like a scale. Cost of living goes up, the worth of your money goes down. It's a very simple formula to understand. A child can literally understand market manipulation, collusion, price rigging, price fixing, all this crap, and how this happened. And then you get the meddling of the government, high-body government officials, the authorities in the land, legitimizing the criminal acts, the 2008 bailout I'm talking about, bailing them out, going against the will of 90% of the American people, and you're gonna justify that somehow? I think I might be done with Alex Jones. I really do. I'm disillusioned because I hung in there, and I'll be a friend. I'll love the guy till the end, and he's worthy of the accolades he gets. He's very brave and very bold, and he's very good at exposing these evildoers, and that's written in Scripture. It's very important to have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them, and he's done that, and I admire the hell out of him. And I'm always going to love him like a brother for that. But damn it, you know what? I mean, if he's going to be defending crony capitalism, and I'm done, man. He's got to get it together, man. Go see a psychiatrist or something, man. Go to a 12-step program. Look, we're all drug addicts. The lucky ones know it. I mean, I don't care if you're using legal or illegal drugs. Listen, God put drugs in our bodies. God put drugs in your brain. We all have to learn self-control, man. And if you're hooked on adrenaline or something, that's a drug. If you're hooked on oxytocin, like so many, or dopamine, like so many, and this is a good reason. So go to a 12-step program. Go to Narcotics Anonymous. Yeah, I'm here. I'm hooked. I need just today. I managed to not need sex today, whatever. I needed to not need adrenaline and drive my Dodge Hellcat at, 150 miles an hour, whatever you feel a need to do. I'm your friend, though. I'll be your friend till the end, just like a brother would. I'm never going to abandon you. But, yeah, the InfoWars bumper sticker's coming off. The next time I hear you saying GD, it's coming off, bro. It's still on there right now. But I've been supporting the organization for a long time, my little way, paying a portion of my tithe, a very small amount, but I'm not a rich guy, so I look at it like the money that the poor widow gave. In the sight of God, she gave more than all the rich people because it really hurt her. But the rich gave and out of their wealth. It didn't hurt them at all. But, so when the poor give, it's, you got to think about that and seeing things through God's point of view. And that's, I guess, the message for Alex Jones is just, man, you better get serious. Because, I don't like some of the stuff. I still like some of the stuff I hear, but I stopped listening to your videos now, man. If you get the wrong guest on and you're espousing the wrong stuff and not enough of the right stuff, man, I can't listen to it, man. But yeah, I do believe that a universal basic income is like triage. And I do say, ask whose planet it is. And as far as being fiscally prudent and being a fiscal conservative, absolutely. Crime would plummet overnight. I mean, what's it worth to you to have a kinder, safer, gentler society? Less homicides. Less everything. I mean, they did a study up in Redding, a neighboring town up in Shasta County. And they actually said that the rapes are higher when people are destitute. There's poverty. That some men really, apparently, they refuse to touch themselves. It's, I don't want to be crude. I don't even like the formal word. So they go out and they commit these violent acts with a woman, force themselves on her, rape. I mean, it's horrible. because they're poor, because these guys don't have a pot to pee in, and they're forcing themselves on women. So, see, I can blame you rightfully. There's justification for blaming all those that oppose a universal basic income. That you're willing to pay for rapists and murderers, okay, and we know that there's a lot of money in pedophilia, the child molestation, the child trafficking business. They call it white slavery. So it's your fault. And abortion. How many women are induced to have abortions because they don't believe they can afford it? They've been shamed. I just heard one judge that does this DNA testing, the black lady, and she's just rebuking this guy for having kids, and you can't afford them and all this, And I think to myself, how are all these people calling themselves Christians or conservatives, and you are neither. They're just the type that you're going to stand for God and try to justify. But Jesus, you're rejecting me, and I got to go to this painful place, Hades or hell or Dante's Inferno-like place. And yeah, but it's predicted. Jesus laid it out. He spelled it out, man. That there's all these people that think they know him, but they don't. They don't, because their hearts are impure. I mean, it's the love of money. It's the root of all the evil in our world, man. This is what we really got to understand. It's the money, man. How do you justify people being born with hereditary wealth? Okay? And then you say it's wrong that if God says this planet belongs to everyone, I want you to share it. So rightfully at birth, you're given your shares in, the forest and the fishing and the agriculture and the minerals and on and on and on. Okay? It's not radical. It's not anti-Christian. In fact, it's anti-Christian to suggest the opposite is true. Of course we should share it. This flies in the face of the oppressors over the millennium. These people are saying this is what the money is this is their power. This is how they oppress people. They steal the wealth of the working class. How do you think? I explained how the Labor Department's obviously in the pockets of the Federal Reserve. Talk about Ronald Reagan's quote of fuzzy math. I mean, absolutely, man. Do you have any idea what minimum wage would be now to have the commensurate buying power of $1 an hour back in the 60s? The math has been done. It's over $40 an hour on average across the country. Just to be even Steven, not to have made any progress. Okay? That's the math. That's inarguable, irrefutable. Statistics, facts, the way it is. Okay? So what are the other benefits of a universal basic income? We don't need a social welfare system. So instead of needing all these workers, we just send people checks directly. You might need a few because there's people with special needs and all that. I understand. So there's always a need for some. But the national debt, all this stuff. You understand that this thing called velocity of currency, cash flow, how good, to speak directly to the Chamber of Commerce and tell you, do you understand how that would be in your local communities to have poor people that they don't have a pot to pee in, and they had money suddenly to patronize this sandwich shop, okay, or this mechanic shop, or this woodworking shop, or on and ad infinitum. You understand who can argue these truths, and you understand how hard it'd be to kick off these dubious wars, and I mean dubious by empirical evidence of 20-something veterans a day. Every single day. It's staggering. I can't wrap my mind around the idea of 20 guys a day, young guys, taking their lives because of whatever remorse they're feeling for what happened over there in the Middle East and North Africa. How do I even live with? How do any of us live with ourselves? How can we live with ourselves? How can we be financially well healed and just get comfortable and say, well, no, I did it and I worked for it, and if I could do it, you can do it, and I've heard it a million times. In reality, it doesn't work that way. Okay, we just had an incident here where they had to do a rescue. How much did that rescue cost? These people were drawn in. High waters coming up. We had a lot of rain. They expect a heck of a blow today, according to Chris Kuiper, our local chief meteorologist. He says there's going to be a hell of a blow today, and it's supposed to torrents of rain and vertical or horizontal rain he's talking about because the wind is supposed to blow. It's calm as heck out there right now. No rain, no wind or nothing. But this is a story. But these people, they almost drowned. They had to be rescued, living under a bridge. So, this business about me saying the homeless are out there, we're letting our own native sons and daughters die out in the cold. And then we're all saying it's bad that, you're un-Christian, un-American, that since America's the land of immigration, you're bad if you don't want to let all these desperate, destitute foreigners come in. you know, and immigrate here, you're a bad person. But it's okay. You know, on the same hand, they're saying it's okay to neglect your own native sons and daughters and have these tent cities, primarily white people, white men, homelessness in America. This is fine. We're not talking about that, right? We're not about solving the problem permanently, and no. So you understand, Alex Jones, and your guests, some of your guests, I'm telling you, man, you're walking the line, man. Before me just throwing you to the dogs, you're on the same side with these elitists. You're talking like a hypocrite.